What's up, everyone? Good morning. I hope you guys are having a great Friday so far. All right, I'm super pumped today. This is just going to be fun, just going to keep it light and fun. Sierra and I are here. First, Sierra is going to chat with one of our current clients, Jennifer, and just share her amazing journey, her transformation. I think it's really going to speak to a lot of you. So she'll share that. And then she and I are going to pop back on together. And we have a bunch of questions, like a lot of questions that we commonly get that we're going to go through. But definitely, if you guys have specific challenges, things that you're struggling with right now, bring it on. Yeah, we are here to help. We are here to support you today and make sure that you get your problem solved. So, all right, beautiful. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Jennifer and let her take it away.
Hey, Jennifer. Welcome.
Hello.
Oh my gosh. I know I shared this before we popped on, but I am just really excited for everybody to get a chance to hear about you and your story. And I'm just excited to chat. So this is fun. Well, Jennifer, I want us to just start off with, because I think it's always that, what kind of gets why Queens of Iron, like when we came in, it's like, what was your biggest struggle before joining Queens of Iron? Like, what would you say was the biggest piece that you were just struggling with?
Oh man, there was a lot, but I think the biggest thing I was struggling was like I could never feel confident in what I was doing. Like I was spending hours looking for like exercises and what to do for a workout routine for myself, but I mean, I never really felt right picking the right program because it never felt right for me. And then the nutrition piece was a big struggle too. And well, I came into it postpartum, like 4 months postpartum. And so, like, I was like, okay, should I try this diet? Should I try that diet? What's gonna work for me? And I was just kind of lost with everything and really didn't know what to do. And yeah,
It's
and then,
and you were
yeah.
you were on kind of like a keto-ish style before you came to us too, right? Where you were starting to kind of add more carbs in, but you had really come from that like kind of keto approach too.
Yeah, it was almost like carnivore-ish in a way too. It was like meat and like eggs and butter and all that.
I
And
love it.
yeah, I don't even know why we thought that was the way to go, but it was like at that moment in time, I was like, okay, this is the right diet. This is gonna work, and like yeah, with the whole milk supply, like I wanted to make sure I kept that, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Because that was super important too, just to make sure you had enough breast milk while trying to reach goals, which is huge too. So I love that. Um, okay, I know this was huge for you. Like, what made you decide to take a leap and actually like commit to the program? Because I know it wasn't like a, yeah, let's go, let's get it. It took you a minute.
Yeah, no, talking to Kristen right away, and I don't know how long it took, but I mean, I kept going back and forth, like, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? And then, finally, she like, I don't think she meant it in this way, but she like basically called me immature, and I was like, boom, like it just kind of like smacked me in the face, like, you know what? Yeah, I am like being immature, like. I need to like stop lying to myself and, hold myself accountable and just commit to it and do it. And I'm glad I did.
And I love that, 'cause I think it's sometimes those moments where we get caught in indecision, where you're like it's almost easier to sit in that than just deciding. And then when you actually made the decision, I think it's really cool because, even when we look back at like where you've come from, and Ashley, if you don't mind sharing Jennifer's progress pictures, I think this would be a great time. Just to like see her and her journey. And I think once we started together too, something I realized was how much you leaned into coaching. Like you have let me push and challenge you in all the best ways. And I mean that so sincerely because, sometimes like I know I can be like, well, let's challenge that. Let's get curious. And you've come and you've brought every single time to every moment that we've had these like breakthroughs and things. And so, I know, and I love this beautiful progress photo is just so incredible to see. And even these pictures, I'm like, dang, we probably should have updated your most recent ones. Because even you just continue to like lean out and you're looking so strong. So thank you, Ashley, so much for sharing these. I love it. One thing I know you said recently was like just, obviously the fitness piece, the nutrition piece, but then, there were these pieces like mentally, physically, emotionally that, you've seen change, especially with the mindset piece. Would you mind like diving in a little bit about like how Queens of Iron has kind of maybe shifted some of those? Like, I know that's a loaded question, but like kind of that physical, mental, emotional piece, the whole kind of gambit with us, how you've changed or where you've seen like the biggest changes in yourself.
Oh, um, yeah, I think I mean, it's not only like the physical, like, yeah, you can obviously see like I've changed majorly with physical, and even my nutrition wise has changed like crazy. But like the biggest thing is the mindset, like that is what like blows my mind still is like how much I've grown and like you said, challenge myself. You always challenge me and make me question everything, and it's like I've taken that into like every part of my life, which I mean I would have thought that, but like even with the family life and yeah, just making almost the whole family question things a little bit more and get curious, and like I would have never thought to do that before, like making, I don't know. It's just it's better for everybody, and like the confidence that comes with it, and like the growth mindset. Like I just want to grow in everything, and not just like fitness and nutrition. Now it's kind of like you. This, I don't know. I just there's so much like inside. You just want to like share it to everybody and like just keep growing.
So real. And I think that's like one of the most powerful pieces is when you've noticed, like, I know sometimes it's like, oh, this is just fitness and nutrition, but even the mindset piece around fitness and nutrition, or even just how we view things. And I know you picked a word this year, and it was like to be really present. And that has grounded us both so much in what we do. Cause I can come back to you and be like, well, time out. In these moments, are we being really present? Like, are we here? And you've been so beautiful. Like, no, like that's not going to make me present. Or, when we were thinking about the Super Bowl, all of those pieces, it was like, is this really going to make you present? And you're like, actually, no, I can already tell this is starting to create a chaos. And I just need to decide and make a decision and really decide what I'm going to do. And then make that plan and stick to it, which I think is so beautiful because, like you said, there's these pieces in your life that I always believe fitness and nutrition can catapult, like, what else can I do? What else can I do? And that's what I love seeing about you right now is like, we're in that, like, well, what else can I do? Um, that what else can I do phase. So I absolutely, absolutely love that. I have especially with this, I'm going to just go off on like, were there moments you've struggled and you were like, having a really difficult time with everything?
Oh, yeah, there's been struggles and there still is, but oh, I know right away it was kind of like the overwhelm, the initial like learning process. That was kind of like, whoa, like weighing food and stuff. It was just like, just the learning process of it all was kind of a struggle. But once you get over that, it's like, okay, this is easy every day kind of thing. The planning and I know what I still struggle with are those extra bites. I gotta the BLTs gotta sneak those in every once in a while. And but yeah, just talking to you, and you work with me and talk different tools and strategies to use, and always always a new idea to use. And
I think the coolest part about you is you're also so raw and real. Like you're not afraid to just be like, this is what happened. Like you're not, you don't hide it from me, which I just love because I think you and you know me now where I'm not here to judge you. I'm not, you're gonna be like, how many questions is Sierra gonna ask me now? But it's that piece where you just like get really raw. You're like, hey, I did have BLTs or this did happen. And I think the most beautiful part is that you also really take that and think about it. And then we can really create a beautiful plan to like continue forward. Like you said, the tools, the strategies, because, even with the BLTs, like you started logging them, like you're like, okay, I'm going to own this and be accountable to it. And so they're starting to become less of like, oh, they're just these things that I'm not even counting to, hey, I'm aware of it. I'm doing this and I'm now going to actually log it. And now I know what I'm doing. Like I can be very real with like, this is what I ate. This is what I did. And I think that is so powerful because I know it can feel like, I mean, probably even when you started with me, it's like, oh, is she gonna judge me? Like, I don't want to be bad. I don't want to mess up. And it's like, no, like you can be so messy with me. Like it's like, bring it. You can. Oh, I think I've told you this so many times. You can't do something I haven't done. You can't. So it's like I'm not here to judge. I've probably done it, and I want to know so we can like bust through it. And I think that's the most beautiful thing that you have done is just push through. Um, okay, so if somebody was on the fence for joining Queens of Iron, um, what would you tell them? Like, what would be the thing that you would be like, "Hey, no, no, listen."
oh, um, it's just be like, you have to do it. I mean, it's basically changed my whole life. Like I, I don't know. I would just they have to do it.
I love
It's it's just I don't know. It's just affected every part of my life, and I don't know. Like, not only is it great being confident in the body that you have
it.
and being healthy and feeling good, but like to have all the other mindset pieces that come with it is where it's at. It's like you can just grow in so many other areas of your life and like get involved in things that you never would have thought you would get involved with. And I don't know, it's life changing.
I think it's so powerful too. You really, you're in that place, like I said earlier, where you're pushing those limits and you're like, what else can I do? And you now are thinking about running, like, which, we're more like the physique shaping, things like that. But I love that you're like, no, no, I want to test my body and other limits, but test my mind and test my family and test you've really had that ripple effect that I think is so powerful. And like you said, it's so easy to say life changing, but from where you started with us and then where you are now, like I feel like I can say this pretty confidently. And if I'm wrong, Jennifer, just shoot me down. But you are a totally different person. Same Jennifer, same amazing, confident, powerful woman, but you have gotten so much more in a sense, I would say like that space where you are really able to be aware of you and what you do and really own everything that you bring to the table. mentally, emotionally, physically, like with your kids, with your husband, with yourself, in the gym, in life, at work. Like it's just had all these pieces where it's just like you are already amazing, but I just feel like it's like this butterfly, like just emerged. And then, we're still going back to caterpillar stages and like, we're like, okay, new goals, new things, caterpillar. But it's been so cool to just watch the transformation because you're in that place of like, well, I want to see what else I can do and push this body to the next level. And I think it's just really powerful to see the growth and who you've like evolved into. And I'm excited to continue to see that because you're stuck with me a while longer.
Right.
um, I love it. Okay. So I'm gonna wrap us up here, but and of course, if there's anything else you want to share, Jennifer, I want to give you that floor too, because um, I never want to be like, oh, you just, but okay, if you could sum up your journey with us in 3 words, and I know that's hard, 3 words only, what 3 words would come to your mind?
Best investment ever.
I love that. And I
I
feel
sh-
like, go ahead. Sorry.
I I think like that in the beginning, I mean, that was the hardest part was like getting past the investment, but it's like you have to put an investment in to actually use it and feel the benefits out of it. Otherwise, you just be like, oh, well, not a big deal. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. Whereas, like, this, like, we really work to uh, make this work. And it's like something that I can't live without anymore. And yeah, it's just the best investment ever, like, I would never ever change it or regret it.
Too, when we've talked a lot about investment too, like just those things that it's sometimes hard because like, it is a big investment. And then when we look back at, with the ripple effect and how much it's shifted you, changed your life, that to me, it's like you've leaned in, like you've used your investment. Like we
Yeah.
talk all the time, right? It's not like multiple times a day. Like, and Jennifer's listened to I was just saying that earlier, like 10, 15-minute voice memos, like where we're going into a topic or diving into something and you just take everything, ask more questions. You are hungry for knowledge and you just ask and you're like, I'm curious. Why is this less way? Why are we doing this? What about this? Have we thought about this? I love it. You ask me all the questions too. We're up
But
there.
I'm like, I am like investing in this, like I'm gonna get my money's worth out of it, basically.
Yeah. And that's the whole point, right? So you can live, learn, and then have that knowledge to take with you. Cause, I get it. We're not going to I can't keep you for forever. But I think that beautiful moment where you're going to be like, I really do feel confident in me and what I do and how I show up. And I'm in a place where, I can take this and run. You're going to take it and continue to run. Like, I have no doubt, no doubt. And I'm just excited, like I said, to kind of just to not kind of like just to really see where we continue to go because we're just at that place of like, we've been in the deficit. Now we're in that maintenance life, which is powerful and scary. And it always sounds so simple, right, Jennifer? It's like, oh, it's just maintenance life. Like I have more food, more calories. It should be easy. And we've even found it's not as easy as it looks.
No, no, deficit is almost easier. Like
Right?
there's just so many things.
I love it though. Well, Jennifer, seriously, is there anything you want to share before like we wrap up, or is there anything you want to any last words, anything else?
No, I think I've said it all.
I love it. Girl, thank you so much for being here. We genuinely like appreciate your time and sharing a little bit about you and your journey. It's been really fun.
No, thank you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
All right. That was so awesome. I'm so glad that we had Jennifer on. I think we got a lot of comments here. Before we actually dive into questions, like the questions that we had, Sierra, there's a couple comments here or questions that I thought, let's just go ahead and dive into those. So the first one, and I want maybe if you could take this one, because I think this comes up a lot. And if I'm saying your name wrong, I apologize, but I think it's Linnell. There's so many of us. So she's talking about like so many of us have spent money and time on personal trainers and programs previously and like not gotten the results. And I know it's like speaking for myself, it's like, same girl, like same. We've been there. So maybe like talk a little bit like what is different about like what we do.
Yeah. And I think it always depends on, I'm just going to be real because that's how I shoot. Depends on your trainer, depends on your goals, depends on, I feel like something we do really well. I have like 17 different thoughts, so get ready. Something we do really well is we're very raw and real. Like I know I will tell a client, like, if we are not at a good place with your nutrition or your body, or like I'm very upfront and honest. And I think everybody, all of our trainers are of like, this is what it's going to take and put realistic expectations on the table. I think there's a lot of trainers who will just be like, yes, we'll get you that. And boom, you'll hit it. And then they don't actually even give you the tools, the strategies. They don't like work with you. I mean, I've had coaches where, I talk to them once a week and that's it. 30 minutes, maybe 30 minutes a week. I get time with them. And I think about like just Jennifer, I'll use her as an example. We literally, I'm not exaggerating. I feel like I should be like, let me show you our conversations. Because we talk all the time and we're very responsive in this sense of like, you have something going on. I'll literally tell you, oh, you're having, a moment, text me, like message me. I want to work through right there with you. And a lot of times people will. And the biggest difference is, we are going to give you the path and the plan, but not just that. Like that's great. Any freaking trainer out there can give you a training plan, a nutrition. You can go online. You could probably Google nutrition plan, but we're going to help you decide how to get there with actual tools, actual strategies. We'll sit there we'll get on your food logs and be like, girl, this is how we want to change it. This is what we could add. We're going to take the guesswork out and we're going to also be like, I'm going to throw 17 different options. What's going to work best for you? And I think at the end of the day with different trainers, different programs, you really have to have somebody who's on your team and in the trenches with you. And not every personal trainer is going to be in their message. Like I said, personally, even my coach right now, I talk to them once a week. That's it. And it's so like we literally all week long, I'm talking to my clients all the time. It's not just check-in day. It's just like a check in the box. Like I'm not done on check-in day. It's like, cool. We've talked, we've looked at your data. We've gotten that piece and we know what's happening and we've got a plan to move forward. But then we're working through all like the mindset, the nutrition, what you're doing this weekend, how we're setting that up, like all step by step. And, I think that makes a huge difference, to be honest, because when I first started my journey, I needed that. Like I needed somebody to support me and I didn't have that. Like I kind of just got, here's the plan, go figure it out. And it's like, no, we'll help you figure it out. Like you don't have to figure out every single thing and we'll figure out something that's going to work for you in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. And then I actually want to let me pull this up here. Nicole, I love this question. What makes this program different? V-Shred, in-person trainer, body, physique shaping. Like,
Yeah.
in terms of our actual programming, it's physique shaping. You can go, like, there's nothing wrong with any of those programs, right? They can all be fantastic. They can build general strength. They can build, like, help you get fit for sure. But it's like, we want to take it to the next level. We want to actually shape your physique so that as you're, losing the body fat that you want to lose, it's like, I am loving what I'm revealing underneath because I'm developing this gorgeous shape in my shoulders that I didn't even know I needed, working my upper body. I'm developing this back, like, whoa, what is that? Like creating this like gorgeous shape to your body.
Yeah, I call it the X frame effect because it kind of creates that hourglass. And we're specifically in your programming targeting those muscles. And while V-Shred and in-person, I could go off on an in-person trainer body, they're going to be more generalized where we get way more in the nitty gritty. Like Jennifer, I'm just using her because she's right. We just talked with her, but everything we do with her program is really tailored to her goals. And so even with adding in running, we're looking at how that impacts her week and all of the pieces where it's like she wants to grow glutes, she wants to grow her shoulders back. Well, guess what we're doing? Where another program is going to give you kind of a template, and then they're going to be like, hey, follow this. And like Ashley said, it will work, but you may not get the look that you're truly going after. And that to me is the most frustrating piece because it's like when you have a specific image in your mind, this is how I want to look. And then you're not looking like that. Then you're like, I don't feel good in my body. I don't like how I'm looking. What am I doing wrong? It must be me. And it's like, you could be training the freaking house down and your program just isn't there. Like,
yeah. Yep. 100%. Yeah. All right. I think let me just go through the comments real quick. I just want to make sure I hit any questions real quick before. Tamara, I see your question. We're actually going to talk about this. I actually said this was a question that came up yesterday too. So I'm going to come back to this if you don't mind, because I have some cool examples to show you. Sierra has tons of experience. We as a team have tons of experience working with women, perimenopause, menopause. So we're gonna hit that for sure. And then Nicole, we're gonna touch on this one too, girlfriend. We're gonna talk about this. Sarah and I love this topic. So yes. Amazing. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Awesome. All right, let's go through. So I'm going to actually we have some questions here. Again, ladies, if you have other questions specific to you, drop them in the comments. I'm going to keep going through these. So if I see something pop up as we're going through. But one area that comes up often when we talk about macros, it's like, what should I fill my macros with is a common question that we get. How do I fill my macros? So I actually want to share my screen real quick and give me a second because I have a million tabs pulled up here. And I'm looking at two different screens too. So if I'm turning away, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just looking at my other screen. But I have actually created, and if you don't have this, you can also drop in the comments food guide or food quality guide. And I'll make sure that you get a copy of this if you don't have it. But it literally is just a food guide. Like these are examples of, yes, I do want to share, but there we go. Yeah. So just examples of like, and again, this is not an exhaustive list. There's some vegetarian options in here as well, if we have any vegetarian folks in here, but I wanted to just kind of give you a visual, like here's all the different examples from these different food groups, the macros, right? We're talking proteins, carbohydrates, fats, right? Those are the three main macros. And then we're also looking at micronutrients, right? Those are so important. And so I think a lot of people, when they hear carbohydrates, for example, it's like bread and pasta. It's like, no. There's so many other things that we can choose from, whole food sources, right? Same thing with protein. And I think sometimes what happens too is like we get stuck in a rut, especially like I know for me, and Sierra, maybe not as much too. Maybe I'm speaking just for me, but like as a mom, sometimes it's easy to just get stuck and like, this is what works for me and my kids and my family right now. And I'm just going to keep this on repeat. Right. And so you don't even think about all of the other options that are out there that you can like mix and match, right? You can create these meals without maybe like changing everything, but you can kind of mix and match. So I just wanted to kind of just show you this, tons of different, lean protein options. One thing I think that's really important for you to, when you're looking at foods, and we're talking about a lean protein, for example, we're looking at the protein to fat ratio, right? So I always feel like a good source of lean protein is something that has at least double the amount of protein to fat, right? So it has, if it's 2 grams of protein and 1 gram of fat, like that's a pretty good protein source. If it's like 10 grams of fat and it has like 10 grams of protein, it's like, it's going to be tricky, right? You're going to have a harder time hitting your protein goal if it's mostly fat, right? So we want to look for leaner sources of protein. Fats are not bad. I don't want to like give that impression at all, but it's like when you're trying to meet a protein goal, you need to make sure that you're looking for things that have at least double the amount of protein. So when you're looking at nutrition labels, look for that. Some things like, if you're getting your meat from the deli, it's not necessarily going to have a protein nutrition label. That's what I'm trying to say. But look it up in MyFitnessPal, right? You can check it real quick where at the grocery store and see like, is this something that's going to meet that requirement, right? Carbohydrates, again, sometimes we just think about, we get stuck in like the bread or the pasta. It's like, let's think about whole food sources. Potatoes. I love a sweet potato. They have tons of fiber too. So it's like, I can get a double whammy in there. Fruit, veggies, all of these other options are available. Even if you are on a gluten-free diet, a lot of these options are amazing. If you have a gluten allergy, lots of options for you. Fats, again, we love gorgeous sources of fats. These are going to help support hormone health, right? Yes. Especially our ladies who are talking about like struggling with perimenopause, menopause. It's like, we want to support our body as much as possible with these beautiful sources of fat. Brain health as well.
Yes.
Higher fiber foods. We want to make sure we're getting like 25 grams of fiber at least. 25, 30, especially if you're in maintenance and you have more calories, it's like we have a little bit more room there to make sure we're getting gorgeous quality foods and meeting that fiber goal. So I think I see a few of you putting that in here. So I'll make sure that you guys get this food guide, but I just wanted to share that visual with you real quick. Okay. Let me stop sharing there. All right. Amazing. Yeah. Okay. Sierra, do you want to take the next one?
Yeah. I feel like the big one is weekends, right? Big question is like, I can't stay on track on the weekends. How do I stay consistent, right? And I think this is one of the biggest struggles. I jumped questions, Ashley. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was like, wait, where are we?
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, I'm on the wrong page. But I was like, I'm going to continue. Just letting you know. The big thing I know from working with my clients, and I'm assuming you're going to be similar. We all have similar problems, maybe different ways we handle it or different things happening in our own lives. But one of the big things I see is Monday through Friday is pretty structured, right? You've got your job, you've got your life. Things are pretty regimented. Like you've got a pretty solid routine throughout the week. You kind of know, even if everything's a little different, you know what's up. We come to the weekend and there's a little bit more openness, a little bit more flexibility, and there's more social events and there's more functions. And then it's like, something I see a lot is I'll just kind of wing it. Like I'll just kind of figure it out on the fly. And what I actually find is the more we wing, which it feels kind of cozy to wing, but it actually creates way more chaos. And what I find is when people don't stay on track, it's usually because they're like, oh, like I'm being so good, and I can just kind of let loose, or there's almost this like, oh, the weekends are it, this is it. And it's like, no, if you want to have something during the week, you totally can. You can have it on the weekend, you can have it any day. But the more we have a plan and a game plan, the more it's easier just to go execute it. Even if you're going to go out to eat, it's like, even if you don't know where you're going to go out to eat, like we can come up with a really beautiful plan to say, hey, let's like do a quick ad with these macros, and plan the rest of our day and really prioritize those whole foods, really prioritize your proteins, your lean proteins, your fruits and veg, things like that. And we still want to eat throughout the day. We don't want to hoard a whole bunch of calories, but we can still have a really beautiful game plan for the weekend. And I think the more we do that and we can have a game plan, you're going to find you can stick to it a lot better. And there's a lot less mental chaos, because the mental piece is huge, where we're like, oh no, like we're thinking so much that we're not even enjoying the food we're eating or the people we're with or the moments and experiences. We're just so wrapped up in food, 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 food. And so the more we can do that, the other thing we could always do is a 5-2 split, where you could have a little bit lower calories during the week and then have a little bit more flexibility with 2 high days on the weekend. So you can kind of work your day a little bit more around life and social functions like that too.
Yeah. Amazing. All right. I'm just going to look through these comments real quick. Yeah. Linnell, I think this is so common. Again, like, yeah, it feels easier to just eat the same things all throughout the week. Totally. But it's like, are you doing yourself a disservice there? Right? Not getting enough nutrients, like the micronutrients, not getting enough variety there. It feels easier. And there's really simple ways to change it up. It's like, I don't need to create 10 different like Pinterest worthy recipes throughout the week. It's like, I can actually just mix and match some of these things in a bowl. Sierra is a woman after my own heart with eating meals in a bowl. That is like my favorite way. It's like the ultimate girl food. You know what I mean? Like I can just pick and match. Like I got my protein source, I got my carb, and then I can pick and choose the veggies and like whatever I want. And it's like, I'm not stuck with a recipe here. I can just go for whatever flavors I'm feeling. And it's like, and I can do it in like 4 or 5 ingredients,
Yeah.
and it takes almost no time to prep. You can lean into like prepackaged rice if you need to, microwavable potatoes. Like I use those all the time.
Same.
Is it like, if we're like, okay, we want like all organic, like super high quality, like, am I maybe getting some PFAS in there with those potatoes? I don't know. But like, as a busy mom, busy at work, it's like, I'm going to still get the nutrients that I need. I'm still getting in some variety. And if I need to lean into some of these more convenience foods that still are, nutritionally valuable, I'm going to do it and make my life easier. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Preach.
all right.
I love
Amazing, ladies. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to take the next question is, how do you know if you're eating enough? Right. We get this question a lot. How do I know if I'm eating enough? And the first question is like, are you tracking your macros? Right. First of all, like, or not tracking your macros. Are you compliant with your macros? Right. So we're talking about that. And then if you are compliant, like what are your results? Right? Are you dropping measurements weekly? Is the scale weight going down? How are your clothes fitting? Like looking at those things. Are things getting a little tighter? Like maybe, things are going up. Like maybe that's an indication, but it's like there could be so many pieces there. But a really good place to start is like, are you compliant with your macros? And what are the results, right?
Yeah.
What actions have you taken? What are the results from those actions? And then also like, how do you feel? How's your energy? Are your joints cranky and like you're not recovering well from the gym? Are you feeling like, are you crashing in the afternoon? Like, so paying attention to all of those pieces to kind of figure out whether or not you're eating enough, if it's time to, reverse into maintenance. There's so many pieces here, but is there anything that you would add to that, Sierra?
No, I think everything you said is so real. Like those are always the first pieces to look at. And like I think it's really powerful to say, like, look at your current actions and what are the results that are coming, because that can be so telling, because that can always be that powerhouse of like, okay, now can we pivot forward? Because your results are always showing what your actions, like it's always working together. So I love that. I think that's powerful.
Yeah. Awesome. And then I think that next one, yeah, if you want to take that, how do I know if I'm tracking correctly?
Yeah. How do you know if you're tracking correctly? Now, what I would say is it's a lot of times it's consistency, but we always want to make sure, I'm sure you've never heard this before. Grams, milliliters, they're interchangeable, and ounces. Cups, tablespoons, all of that is just going to totally be off. But a lot of times people overcomplicate tracking and they're questioning everything. And, if you're eating something cooked, make sure you're looking for a cooked version in MyFitnessPal. If you measure it raw and you're cooking it raw, like you just have a little portion for yourself and you're cooking all of that, totally fine to log it raw. But there's so many ways that you can just simplify it, like even making a recipe, you can weigh the whole thing, and just get for each gram. So you're not having to like, okay, this makes 8. How do I divide it up into 8 servings? Right. So when you're tracking accurately, it's really measuring, like putting that bowl. I'm always going to say bowl. I never put a plate, like put a bowl on your scale, putting your food in. And I know sometimes it can be like, oh, that just takes so long. And I'll challenge you on that every single day. Cause I'm like, it probably will take you 2 minutes max. And that's probably excessive. Maybe at the beginning a little longer, just as you're figuring out the scale and, weighing things, but you'll get so fast at it. Like, I don't even think about it.
Yeah. Just piggybacking on that, Sierra, Isella is asking, do we measure the protein raw or cooked? Yeah, which is best?
For me, I weigh mine cooked because that's how I eat it. And so there's plenty on MyFitnessPal where you can look up cooked lean ground beef 96.4. If you type that in, you can find an entry that you can put in. You can also make your own recipe if you just don't want to trust MyFitnessPal. You can always I do that all the time. I'll like put it on the scale, or like I don't even have to put it on the scale because my meat in my little package tells me how much it is. And I just put that in MyFitnessPal and then I reweigh it cooked. I measure it out. I put that serving in. I know we have a video. So if anybody wants that video, maybe Ashley, I think.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So if you want to put in there, Kristen actually did a great video breaking it down, walking you through how to track all this stuff in MyFitnessPal. So we'll make sure that you get that if you wanted to.
But I would do it cooked because most of you are probably making for your families or even meal prepping a whole bunch of meat at one time. Trying to do it raw you're going to end up not getting the accurate amount because it's going to shrink when you cook it. It's going to shrink. So 4 ounces cooked is not going to be the same as 4 ounces raw. So just put in the cooked version in MyFitnessPal and you should be solid.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And then I want to just go over this question too. So Jackie is asking, do your macros change based on the kind of exercise you're doing, for cardio versus lifting or rest days? So I'm guessing, and Jackie, maybe you can clarify if you mean like you have your set macros and then maybe you're doing like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, your strength training, and then maybe you're having like a cardio day in there. Maybe that's kind of how I'm interpreting your question. And so the short answer is no, right? We want to keep it consistent.
And your macros should be fueling what you're doing. And that's the cool part is like, it depends on what kind of cardio you're doing. And like, if you're doing HIIT, that's going to take a different energy source than maybe a more steady state cardio. And so it's like, if you're doing all these things, it should be all factored. Your lifting, your cardio, what you're doing, how it's all working together. Then your macros should be set. That's why like macros are so individual because we're not all doing the exact same thing. And then if you have that, your macros are going to really maximize what you can bring to your training, whether it's cardio or lifting.
Yeah, exactly. I know we have a lot of ladies, like we have a few ladies who come in and they are runners, for example, like they want to continue running and strength training. It's like, okay, we want to make sure you have the right macros for you to support that extra cardio that you're doing and you're lifting. So it's so important to, like Sierra said, work with someone who knows exactly how to structure your macros to support your training, right? Amazing.
Sorry, my turn.
Yes.
What if I can't do it? What if I can't stay on track? And I feel like this is so common, right? We want to be really perfect. And, sometimes as we're doing new things, or if we're tracking macros, or maybe you have new macros and it's new, we want to just do it well first. And it's like, sometimes we have to give ourselves a little bit, I call it grit and grace, right? Grit in the sense of like, I'm going to come to obstacles with anything that I'm doing, and even tracking. Like if you're not staying on track, there's obviously obstacles right in our way. And it's like, I'm going to have to confront those obstacles. Like I can't put my horse blinders on and act like they don't exist. Or I'm never going to push through. And there's that other piece of learning grace. And a lot of times people look at grace as like, oh, I just can be like, it's fine. It's cool that I didn't track. It's cool that, oh, I deserved a day off, or whatever it is, which, I'm not saying you can't have a day off or things like that. But what I consider grace is patience, understanding, flexibility, and adaptability, where it's saying, hey, there's these obstacles that are going to pop up, and I'm going to have to pivot and learn through it. And so even with people with half compliance, it's like, are we trying to take a huge bite out of the elephant? Is tracking the whole day really overwhelming? It could be. So maybe we start small, right? And we don't like to do that sometimes because it seems like it's going to take forever. But if we start small and do these like little bite-sized chunks and build in the habit of tracking, you're going to find over time, it's going to start becoming easier and easier. Maybe we start just tracking breakfast, and then maybe we have a game plan. Like if you were working with Ashley or I, we'd be like, okay, this is how we're going to do this, because I don't need you to be perfect, but I will tell you, the more you can track, the more awareness it brings. I think we as humans underestimate what we do, what we eat, and what we think what we think it is. And so the more we're aware of what we're doing, your progress is always going to show through that. And that's usually what we want, right? We're looking to get to a certain place, and the tracking is just a tool to get us there. It's not the only thing, but the more we can lean into it and start reframing even our mindset around tracking, because there could be some pieces like, oh, this is hard, or this is tedious, or this takes too long, or things like that, that you can work through to say, hey, one step at a time, one step to just, how can I move one step forward to where I can get into my tracking diligently? Anything you would add there, Ashley? Because
No, that was beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Amy, I want to, so I love this because I'm like, there's so many pieces here. So I want to just like lovingly like poke a little hole as well to your first statement. It's like, actually, if you are in a true deficit, you should be losing weight. Like that is true. But there's so many little pieces here. It's like, how long have you been dieting, right? How long have you been in a deficit? It was 2 weeks ago, maybe I did a longer live on the reverse process, what that looks like, and talked a little bit about metabolic adaptation. And that's just a fancy way of saying like your body is constantly adapting to what you give it. And so, for example, if my body's used to eating 1,300 calories and I've eaten that for a really long time, that's my body's new set point, right? That's where my body is like, cool, I'm happy. I'm going to keep maintaining my weight here, because your body's protecting you, right? Your body is this amazing thing that's adapting in order to keep you alive, right? That's its job. And so it's like, yeah, you're going to stop at some point. If you think that that's your deficit, you're going to stop losing weight at some point. So your macros need adjusting. And it's like, if you get to that point and you've been dieting for so long that you're no longer seeing results, yeah, it's time for more food. It's time to go through that reverse process. So definitely, I agree, Amy, like the second part of what you said, like learning food is fuel. Yes. Also delicious. We also love it. And yeah, you can get even more fit. You can tighten up. You like still drop your body measurements when you're eating a lot of calories.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm eating around 2,200 calories right now in maintenance. Sarah, I think you're eating even more right now. You're like,
I'm at 3,000.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
At
And
maintenance.
it's like, that blows people's minds. It's like, how do you, people like, it's like, whoa, like, how do you do that? And it's like,
and we both have hypo, which impacts our metabolism. So I say that because, you know, sometimes people are like, oh, you just must be the lucky ones. Negative. Actually. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
So I just wanted to just like bring that up because it's something that I see a lot, I hear a lot. All right, amazing. I want to get to one more question that we had where I want to be respectful of everybody's time. I feel like, Sierra, you and I are both like talking. So I appreciate you ladies hanging in there. All right, a question we get a lot. Am I eating too many carbs? This is one where we want to like challenge you a little bit. And first of all, be like, are you afraid of eating too many carbs? Like how is your mindset, right, around carbs? And I think that's especially for, I would say like women, like my age, a little bit older, like 30s, 40s, like we have been told carbs are bad. Fat is bad. Like, don't do this. You're going to lose weight if you cut out carbs. And it's like, no. Especially if you are weightlifting and you're trying to build and shape your body, you must have those carbs. It's like a non-negotiable, right? So a good rule of thumb is hit or work up to, right? So if you are currently like eating very low carb, it's like we want to take it nice and slow and build you up to the point where you're getting enough carbs. But about 2 grams of carbs per 1 kilogram of body weight is a beautiful place to be, right? So, you know, it seems like a lot, I know, to some women. They're like, you're eating like 230 grams of carbs. It's like, you're using that. Your body is using that for energy, right? For mental energy for training. It's helping your muscles recover so that you're able to more efficiently build muscle, right? It's not just about the protein. You need those carbs. Anything you'd add there, Sierra?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You nailed it. Because I think, especially recovery, people underestimate, like we'll work hard in the gym and then we won't sleep or recover. And it's like those carbs are actually your body's way of de-stressing. The best thing you can do, eat those carbs, because especially if you're high stress, because your body needs it to just say, we're safe, chill down, calm down. And the recovery piece is massive with the carbs. Like people it's so underrated.
Yeah, Jessica, I see your question there. I've always wondered if there was a formula, used to be low carb, but yeah, you're tired and hungry. Your body needs that. Yeah, you're depleted. And keep in mind too, like when we talk about carbs, again, I go back to the bread and pasta. It's like, we want to be getting the quality carbs. If you're only eating more refined carbs or processed carbs, your body processes that really quickly. There's not enough fiber there to like, to like offset that glucose, you know, the fiber helps with satiety.
And that's where you get
blood sugar
crashes and rushes, especially if you don't have a balanced meal. You'll just immediately, if you're noticing those crashes, that the first thing I'd look at is your carbs and how you're balancing your meals.
Yeah, 100%. Amazing. All right. I'm going to take the next one. I don't see any more in the comments here.
All right. I know this was one that says, like, I'm curious what a typical week looks like coaching wise. It sounds like there are weekly one-on-ones. Is there sufficient time dedicated to one-on-one time calls? And do you have group calls too? It is hard to get on a one-on-one schedule, or does everyone have to fight to get into limited spots? So lots of questions there. I love it. One of the big things is we try to be as efficient with your time as possible, because most of us are busy, and to get on a call every single week is sometimes not realistic. And so we do like our check-ins, like Jennifer, like I said, we are very raw and real with like, hey, we'll be doing our messaging through Telegram, and you'll get your check-in there. But just because you get a check-in doesn't mean you don't have unlimited access to us. Like, we'll take nights and weekends off, but we're there. You can literally message me 100 times a day, and I will continue to message you back all day, and the next day, and the next day. And most of my clients, they will reach out. It's not just check-in day, and it's not just this one hit, which is what, like I said, a lot of trainers do. It's like, this is your check-in time, this is it, and then I won't see you for another week. Have a good time. It's like, no, we do. And there are times like we do an onboarding call with a Zoom, and we love to like dig and get to know you and talk about your program and go over all that. And then if we ever need to, we'll jump on a Zoom or a call or anything like that. If it's just like, hey, like I know we've all had clients where it's like, we just really need to touch base and sit and talk and do that. But we, form feedback throughout the week as well. Messages, if you need help with logging your food, you need help looking at your food, creating meals, like whatever the problem is, we're there to just support through it. And we do have, we don't have group calls right now. We found that we're doing more of like a monthly training where we're kind of digging into different topics our clients want to know more about. And so we're kind of doing like more of a deep dive educational piece / mindset piece to almost give our clients kind of like a next level edge of just like, hey, I want to know, I know we're going to be talking actually about mindset and maintenance, because maintenance like is challenging for a lot of women because they think it should be easy. And a lot of us have spent so long dieting. So with everything, with us, I'm trying to think of, there's a lot of questions. So let me go back. It's hard to get a one-on-one schedule, or no, you like, once you're with your coach, like you have just 24 access. So you don't have to like schedule the time. Cause I know everybody's schedules are different. And the cool part is because, we can kind of get back to you so instantly. So when a problem arises, like I've had clients be like, we changed restaurants, like we made a whole plan for food, and then like last minute changes, I need help. And then it's like, cool, let's go. Like I'm right there in that moment. We can like make those changes, and you can live your life and go to the restaurant and be happy. So
yeah.
Anything?
Yeah. No, exactly. It's like, you have a problem, cool, solution, problem, solution. Like we are in the weeds with you. It's, I think, a term that I maybe picked up from you. I don't know if it was you or Kristen, but it's like, we're in the weeds with you. Like we want to know everything,
And the more
that you're willing to share with us. The more you're willing to share, the more you lean in there, the more we can help. Right.
100%. The more you lean in, and that's what I mean. Like if you want to talk to me all day, bring it. I'll talk to you all day.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to skip. There were 2 top questions up there that I didn't. Well, let me just answer them just real quick. And then I do want to get real quick to the like perimenopause, menopause question. I struggle with snacking at night. I'm good all day, and then I get off track. Yeah, like that's real. Yeah. One thing that is a really powerful strategy, it's part of its mindset too. It's like, how are you thinking about food? Are you categorizing food as like, this is bad food and I can't have this? And then it's like the red button that you're not supposed to push. It's like, now I really want to push it. Now I really want to eat that cookie that I've been thinking about all day that I'm telling myself I can't have. It's like, cool. Can we actually just build that into our plan? Right? Is that something that we can just enjoy a little bit of every single day? I know personally, like I used to really struggle with binge eating. And like I call it like the secret snacker. Like I would like hide stuff, in my car. Nobody's gonna know that I'm eating like this row of Girl Scout, the Thin Mints. Like
one for the tag along. I'm dying. Sorry. The whole box and the peanut butter covered.
Like the whole row. gone, like one sitting, and it's like, now it's like, I can have that every single day if I want. I can build it in, right? So reframing, I guess, how you're thinking about food and how you choose to put it in. It's like, I can make sure that 80% of the calories that I eat in a day are beautiful, high quality, gorgeous foods. And then if I want to have some cookies at night, I can have some. I can portion those in and like feel like I can enjoy it. I can enjoy my lifestyle, and crush my goals, right? And meet my physique goals. So it's like be honest with yourself and set yourself up for success that way. And then just real quick, somebody else asked, how many times should I weigh myself? Once a week, honestly, is totally fine. It really depends. Sometimes, if it's something that's super triggering for you, right? Maybe we don't need to weigh. Maybe we just need to do body measurements, right? Maybe we just need to check in. How are our clothes fitting? Look at our weekly photos. How are those changing? So I think it's very individual. Like personally, I do it every day, but it's because I'm a data person. I like to see the numbers and it's like, oh, that's interesting. Yesterday I had a lot of sodium and now I'm up 2 pounds, It's like when you start to remove some of the emotion from it and look at it from like, I'm like, let's put our scientist hat on and like, get curious. Why is this happening? Then you can, like I said, remove that emotion from it. But like I said, once a week, totally fine.
Yeah.
All right. Amazing. Sierra, that question, I'm very curious if you have experience working with 45-year-old women, 45 plus year olds.
Yeah.
While you answer that, I'm going to screen share real quick.
Sure.
A couple of our transformations, some of our ladies who are in that age group. I'm like, I'm not far off from that either. I'm 40. So.
Oh, I think the cool part is we've worked with a lot of women in perimenopause. I have a current client who we are just entering perimenopause. I have plenty of clients who were in it. We're in the thick of it. We're postmenopausal, the whole gambit. I feel like I feel like more and more women are becoming earlier into perimenopause. So the big thing here is 100%. Have we worked? Yeah, we do all the time. Now, Ashley, remind me of the question. Was it
so about- it was, yeah, she was asking if we have experience, and then let me just read that. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, that was just the question. I'm very curious if you have experience working with women who are in that age bracket.
Yeah. And I think the big thing when it comes to I'll just share this with perimenopause and menopause is during this time, I'm sure most of you are probably researching and going on the down the rabbit holes. And, when you step back and look at what's happening in our body, our hormones are literally daily fluctuating, where normally, like before that, they were fluctuating about every week, right? You kind of cycle through the course of 28-ish days. And we head into perimenopause and your estrogen's high today, and then tomorrow it's tanked and progesterone. And so we've got this ever fluctuating piece with our hormones. And what happens is as women, we tend to be like, let's push harder, more. And actually what we need during this time is not to always push harder. It's like, we can still train hard. I want you to train hard. I want you to eat and really fuel your body, but we need to be stress managers out the wazoo, because the more we can manage our stress, the more you're going to be able to help your hormones settle down. Because the more stress, like if you start doing all the HIIT cardio, it is going to impact your stress levels in your body. Like there's so many pieces. So it really is coming up, and I mean this so sincerely, with the right macros for you and your body, what you're doing with your current training, and really taking a good look at what your training looks like. Because I think that can play a big part, and then really focusing on recovery as well. Focusing on recovery.
So I wanted to share, we have so many amazing transformations, but this is Melissa. She's actually, so if you guys tune in later this afternoon, I'm actually going to share I'm going to share the video testimonial that she shared. So this was literally 5 weeks. 5 weeks in, when Melissa came to us, she was doing Caroline Gervine Iron Series, which is, again, it's like, you know, the V-Shred and Body, amazing for general fitness, right? Getting you fit. But she was like, I don't love how my body's looking. She's also, I believe she was in her 50s. And so came in, Kristen got her on the right macros, 5 weeks in with the right macros and physique shaping. That was the difference in how her body looks. Like, it blows my mind. I'm like, 5 weeks, dang. Like, it really does make a huge difference. And it's like, when you're working, like Sierra said, it's like paying attention to all those things. Like, if we know that someone's in perimenopause or menopause, like making sure that your macros are right to support your body where you're at, right? I'm just going to scroll through a few of these because we have so many ladies. This is Carla. Same thing. Carla was also, I believe, in her 50s. She was like hanging out in our Facebook group for, I think, Chris, like a year, maybe longer, constantly asking Kristen, you know, what do I need? What do I do? I'm doing all the things. I'm lifting. I'm tracking my macros. And it's like, you just need the right macros for your body and physique shaping. She had actually been told that she was fat loss resistant at her age. It's like, no. You're not fat loss resistant. You just need, and it's also lifestyle habits, right? That's the huge piece, is lifestyle habits. And that's where, like, when we say we're digging in the weeds with you, we're working on those lifestyle habits. Like, we're making sure that you have that external accountability and that you're able to like really internalize everything so that you can, at some point, we want to keep you forever, but that's not realistic. You can go off and you can do this on your own, right? Carla continued to get even fitter and stronger after this, right? I think there's a few. This is Chris. Chris blows my mind. 63 years old.
I love her.
It's like the huge transformation. Just, I'm like, man, she's got that like cut abs here. So good. I'm like, I want those legs. She's got these gorgeous, you know, muscles popping through and her quads here. 63 years old. It's like, it is totally possible when you have the right macros, when you're on a physique shaping program, and you're working with someone who can help you with those lifestyle pieces. Because 9.95 times out of 10, when someone says, it's my hormones, like, I think it's just my hormones, it's like, it could be like, right? It could be that you're just not supporting the actions that you're taking, right, aren't supporting what your hormones, what your body actually needs. So that could be a part of it. But 9.5 times out of 10, it's like, actually, we're just not on the right macros, right? There's a lot of like unconscious things that happen there. Your body shifts how it's storing fat. Your energy tanks, your hunger hormones get queued up. And so there's all these little pieces happening that you just don't realize, right? And so it's like, if we have the right plan, we can manage those things. Absolutely. Like, there's nothing stopping you.
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to share that real quick.
Amazing.
Ladies, are there any other questions that you want to pop in the chat real quick? And know that like, we're here live and we're not going to be here for the rest of the day. We're going to pop off here soon, but 100% you can send Kristen or I a message on Facebook, literally anytime. If you have a question like, hey, what do I do? Like, this is going on. We're here for you. We're here to support you. So please know that you have that available at all times.
I love it.
Yeah. All right. Amazing. Let me just make sure I've got everything. Yeah. All right. If there's no other questions, again. Oh, I see one more. Yeah. Azella. Does it matter when you work out, AM, PM? No. It's like, what works with your schedule and what can you be consistent with? And then also sometimes like you have to pivot. Like I prefer to work out in the mornings. Sometimes it ain't going to happen. And so I got to figure out that day, how can I pivot and do it later? Kids get sick. How do I pivot? Those are those lifestyle changes. My kids forgot their backpack. Shoot. I got to like
real. Just preaching. I'm just like,
Yep. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, what can you be consistent with? It does not matter. I think you do want to think about like nutrient timing. So making sure if you're working out early in the morning, am I giving my body some kind of like quick digesting carb that I can lean into real quick? And then afterwards, eating another carb and protein, right, to support my body. So just thinking about like nutrient timing is the only piece there, but otherwise it makes no difference.
I love it. I love it.
All right. Amazing. All right. So I think that's all the questions unless anything else comes in. But I want to remind you all. So Kristen has been talking over the last couple of days. We've made a lot of posts, but this is your last day for that fast action bonus that we have, right? So definitely make sure that you get in. This is a gift, right? That's valued at over $3,500, which is huge value. That we want to share with you, right? To help you take that next step, right, into one-on-one coaching, to build and shape a healthy, fit body that you freaking love, right? That you feel amazing in. You know, Jennifer at the beginning when she came on, she was like, it's not just that I've like lost weight and built muscle. It's literally changed every single aspect of my life. So it's like, it's so much more than just like dropping body fat and physique shaping. It's like, we want to help you literally up level every single area of your life. And this will take you there. We've had so many women say to us, I went after a job that I never thought I could get.
Yeah.
I got a promotion, right? This changed in my life. I got a divorce. Like I left a toxic, relationship because I felt so freaking confident in my body, right? That's what we want. That's what we want. So if you apply for coaching and then subsequently enroll, we're going to gift whoever the winner is. And we'll announce that on Friday, the 28th. So this coming Friday, an additional 6 months to really, like I said, just take your next level. So if that's something that you're interested in, comment fast action bonus below, fast action. And then Kristen and I will reach out to you to make sure that we talk more about your goals, give you the coaching info, and give you a chance to win that big, fat, juicy giveaway.
I love it.
Sierra, amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
all right, everybody, have a fantastic day.